Name me one thing.
Just like certain, like I remember we did an interview with a magazine in England, and it was fine when we did it, but they twisted the article to make and then called us sexist. And then, you know, in hindsight, we've become like a lot more aware. In some ways, it's made us give worse interviews because we can become more standoffish now. You know, so sometimes we find it hard to open up because you just can't trust, especially in England, you can't trust journalists. So it can be really difficult. But yeah, so there's situations like that we'll never fall into again. I'll be more careful.
But then a really last question, of two last questions. What was the high point of the last year?
Well, we released an album, like our first ever album. That's quite a high point, and kind of playing Leeds Festival as well. That was a high point, and Glastonbury, like the festivals in general. And we went to Japan for the first time ever, America for the first time ever. So there's quite a lot of high points, really.
A low point?
I can't think of a low point. I think
That's the answer that you have to give. But of course, there are low points. I think.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's been times when I've just been there's nothing in particular. Maybe being called sexist in a national magazine wasn't exactly a high point. But even now I can laugh at that. You know, I can see the funny side of that. Because anyone who knows us knows it's not true. And if anyone believes it, then they're the idiots, not us.
What are your okay, I can ask you what are your hopes for this album, but of course you're saying I hope it's going to be big. But what is your feeling about the album if you compare it to the first album? Song-wise, lyric-wise, is it better for you?
I feel it's better. I mean, I feel it's more, we've definitely improved as a band, like as musicians. And I feel the songs are kind of constructed a bit better and there's a bit more thought into them. And they're not just kind of 3 minutes of playing as guitars as fast as we can and then shouting over the top of it. You know, it's a bit more of a, it's more of an album than a collection of songs. The first album was a collection of songs that we recorded, but the second album was actually thought out as, you know, we should have there's got more dynamics to it. There's like slower songs and faster songs, and there's an acoustic track on there and things like that. So.
But does it have to do then with you writing the songs all in a limited time frame?
I think that helps in a way. It made it a more focused album. You know, like everything. Like the first album was written over like maybe 2 years, and you obviously kind of change. Like a band would progress in 2 years, so in some ways I could tell the earlier songs from the later songs on that album. Whereas on this one, all the songs were written together, so it kind of has that kind of cohesion, and it feels more like an album to me.
What's your favorite song? Every song.
Yeah,
well,
I'm trying to think. It does change. I think I'm Not Going to Take This is up there. You've not heard that one there, have you?
What's the song?
I'm Not Going to Take This.
No, it's not.
It's the second track on the album. Okay. That's one of my favourites.
Why?
I think when I remember, it was one of the last songs I wrote for the album, and then I took it into the practice studio, and as soon as we started playing it, it just kind of clicked into place, and everyone just played exactly exactly what they played on the album. Basically, everyone just suddenly instinctively played the right thing, and it just came about so easy, just together, and we didn't really change much of it when it actually went to record. So it seemed very natural.
So that's maybe then not always, but sometimes that's the definition of a good song.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the definition of like a Pigeon Detectives song. Like it was the one that sounds the most like us naturally.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Oh, thanks very much.
Okay.